proud to select Ivan Demidov.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a live post-game show of the Curfew Boys on YouTube and Twitter X. Sammy here with my boy, anxious Anthony, very anxious Anthony during this time of the season.
Hey
Hey
now,
now.
crazy, crazy. Oh, we don't care if they don't make the playoffs. We're gonna be happy no matter what, and then we're still fucking going crazy. They lose
Yeah,
5 in a row. Okay, we're not a playoff team. Don't worry about it. We win. What a fucking big win tonight.
it is a big.
This, bi-
We all
this bipolar Habs fan feeling.
comes with the territory. What can you expect? Happy Sunday, March 30th, in a very, very dark and cloudy and awful Sunday in Montreal. And I don't know how the rest of Canada was looking today. Just ice, ice everywhere. Like we're starting April in 2 days, and there's still ice everywhere. I don't understand what's going on. Well, maybe we do, but that's a whole other topic on a whole other different type of podcast. But thanks for tuning in. Like I said, live on live on Twitter, also
YouTube.
known as X, and YouTube, exactly. But all of our episodes are available audio platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can follow the Curfew Boys on other social media platforms like, Twitter, or X, Instagram. We're very, very active on those, Facebook and TikTok as well. Before we get started, just a reminder to all of our listeners and audience, these episodes are sponsored by Les Délices La Frenet. Honestly, pastry shop with some of the best cakes and pastries that you can think of. Even though March is coming to an end, Zeppelis are always amazing. And my personal favorite, cannolis. Being Italian, what can you expect? Visit their 6 locations. They got Rosemary, Brossard, Pointe Claire, Montreal West. They got Saint Julie, and our home base, our
Said
hometown,
Leo.
the motherland, St. Leonard. Yes, visit lesdeliceslafrenette.com for more details. They are simply delicious, simplement délicieux. And last but not least, this episode is also sponsored by the very famous and popular Habs Cave on Instagram. To see content regarding Montreal Canadiens memorabilia. Our boy Sunil is a big supporter, and we're also a big supporter of him. Go follow Habs Cave on Instagram. You will not regret this. It's basically the dream cave for any Habs fan out there. That's all we got to say. And I know our previous episode, Zook was on, Chris was on. We talked a little bit about the event, but you weren't on the episode, so here's your chance to talk about the evening that we had last Saturday at the Habs Cave for a very special event.
Honestly, actually, I'm just going back in time. I just want to confirm before I say something incorrect. We had an episode with Sunil. So, guys, check it out. I will find which episode it is and I'll bring it up later on in the episode. But check out that episode. It's live on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's every podcast platform we're available on. An amazing story from Sunil, how he started this cave, how far he's come. Check it out. It's a great listen. My experience there, it's been maybe 3 times I've been, and every single time I walk in that house, it's like Zook said it because it was his first time ever. But just imagine
Yeah,
to all our listeners
yeah,
out there, his first experience that you heard, that's our experience each time, even though it's 3, 4, 5 times we've been. Zook's feeling is exactly our feeling every time we walk in that house. There's always something new. There's so much magic in there, especially as a Habs fan. Aside being a man and wanting a cave like that, in our house, put that aside. Just being a Habs fan in that basement is it's just magical. It's
yeah.
the Disney World for Montreal Canadiens, pretty much.
That's one way of putting it. The Disney
That's
World.
one.
I never
Yeah,
looked at it that way, but yeah, that's the Disney World for the Montreal Canadiens.
and not only
That's
that,
that's
not
one way of putting
only,
it.
but it's not only the cave itself; it's the community. what Sunil does when he brings everybody there for these
Yeah.
fundraisers
Yeah.
and
Big
for
time.
those. It's just you're in a room full of Habs fans and you're talking with them and socializing with them instead of being at the Bell Center with 21,000 people. You're in a basement, with 30 guys, well, mixed guys and women, and just talking Habs, surrounded by all this memorabilia, amazing memorabilia. I mean, even going into his washroom, there's toilet paper
Yeah. Oh my
um,
God. That was funny.
with the logo of the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
That's
Um,
hilarious.
it's just honestly, anything you could think of, Montreal Canadiens, it's in that basement. It's crazy.
Yep, absolutely, and it was for a great cause once again, for
Exactly.
raising money for the Liam Foundation. You could visit the liamfoundation.com if you ever want to make donations to help Kevin's son Liam that's fighting through mitochondrial disease, a very rare disease that children get. There's a few children around the world that are suffering through it, but the McGill Medical Centers and those in charge of it, they're opening up the first mitochondrial clinic in Montreal, the first one in Canada. So just hearing that news was great, and hanging out with ex NHLers like Chris Nyland, Shane Corson, and Andre Roy. Like, what a treat that was! It was so
That
much fun.
was an amazing treat.
Yeah,
I mean, Andre. I mean, it was the first time I met Shane Corson. I don't know you guys saw him the last time you've been,
yeah,
but
yeah,
Shane Corson is just, just a regular dude, down
yep.
to earth. He
hmm
just fit in the crowd. It didn't feel like he was an ex NHLer. He was just talking to him as if he was just.
He, he looks like a science teacher.
He looks like yeah,
he
exactly.
looks
He looks like a school
he looks like a
teacher.
university professor or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
He's that, and Andre Roy, ex Tampa Bay Stanley Cup champion.
yeah, from
So cool,
2004. Yeah.
so cool, man. That guy he was hilarious. What a comedian he was. What a character he was.
Oh my God, he's a
Just
riot.
so
He's amazing.
just an amazing dude, man. If ever you
Yep.
get a chance to meet him in person, or actually, we want him to be on our episode, on our show in the near future, so we will reach out to him.
We will try to
We would
get him.
love,
Yeah.
we would love to hear his story. Being in a dressing room with a bunch of champions, and he played with Marty,
Yep.
so he has a lot of insights of how Marty is character wise. So yeah, this
And
great,
he loves the guy.
and he loves Marty.
I love how like they're still somewhat close, but he knows that Marty's so busy throughout the entire season that he just sends him little texts here and there. Hey, great job today, great job. But like he knows Marty can't respond right away because God knows how many messages he gets, and he's just so busy, right? Being the head coach of the Montreal Canadiens, I'm pretty sure that's a lot on your plate. Before we get started on today's topic, I don't know what kind of issues we're having, but since we're going live for some reason, it's giving us an old title about the Jake Evans extension. So we apologize for that. No, this is episode 260 with the date. It's Habs 4, Panthers 2 post game show. If the title appears weird on YouTube and on Twitter, like I said, it's technical difficulties that for some reason we just can't seem to figure out tonight. But
You know what?
it is what it is. It is what it is. So
Not so much difficulties. It actually brings up a perfect topic to start this episode with, Habs talk here.
mhm,
I have a question for you, Sam,
mhm.
and this doesn't go by, like, I'm not trying to uh, diminish him as a player or character. Maybe they're all off, but don't you feel he's not the same player after after that extension?
But but
Again,
what type of player is he supposed to be?
he's still that fourth liner player, but
Mhm.
he's not basically before the extension, he was all over the place. That's all we saw on the ice. Evans,
Okay.
Evans, Evans. Was he just playing for that extension or that trade to get more money? And then after that, see, this goes back to always my argument in the past of how the NHL works and the salary cap, and you get paid, that 100% salary and no,
Mhm.
like, back to what I said in the past, where I wish the NHL would bring back, or no, not bring back, but do what the NFL does. Right? You get
Mhm.
your guaranteed salary, but if you want the rest, it's all about performance. It's all about your gameplay and your stats.
Mhm.
In the NHL, it's like, here's 10 million. You can have a shitty season. You can have a shitty next 7 years of your extension. You're still getting your 10 million. Um, So that kind of sucks, right? Because people play for that contract. Once they get that contract, there's only a handful of players who still continue playing after that contract. So it kind of worries me seeing Evans after the extension. He's just not the player we saw before the extension.
Let me ask you something. How healthy is Yoel Armia right now?
He looks pretty healthy. I mean,
Yoel Armia is not 100% healthy. And when those two were 100% healthy, they were rolling. But what's he doing so differently besides not having more shorthanded goal scoring chances? He's doing everything else right. He's winning faceoffs. He's killing penalties. And there's plenty of other guys that we need to ask questions like
oh no,
how are they not how are they feeling like or what's their health status at, but it's like are what's their gas tank level at exactly. And I
no,
think
100%.
Jake Evans is the least in my opinion, and the way I'm
least to
viewing
worry
things.
about.
He's the least that I'm worried about right now.
No, again, I start off by saying I'm not here to diminish him as a player. I still like Evans.
Mhm.
And again, it could be all coincidence. It could be the slump that we're all having before tonight's game. We'll get into that. But before that, we lost 5 in a row. The team has been very demotivated. Every single player, and that includes Suzuki, the Caulfields, the Hudsons. Not Hudson. He's just a different level. I will get into that.
That kid's
I don't
insane.
even want to put him in that category of slump or anything. But um, I don't know. I guess maybe it's a coincidence. I hope I'm wrong. I just really hope it's just what you just mentioned about Armia and just the team being gassed out or injured or whatever case may be. I just hope Evans didn't just change after the extension. That's
I
all
don't
I'm
think
worried
so.
about.
I'm not even close. I don't think people realize how tough this road trip was. It started starting in St. Louis. Already going into St. Louis is one of the toughest buildings to play in. A lot of these buildings are tough to play in, but that St. Louis game, this St. Louis team is just on a whole other roll right now. Like they look like the big they look like that almost. They're not the exact same team like the 2019 Cup champions, but they're looking very similar. Jordan Binnington, like he's probably feeling good about himself in his game after winning the Four Nations championship. We all thought Philly. We all thought they were going to have that one. But for some reason, I don't know what the heck happened to that Philly game. I think
it was just bad timing, man. I think it was a spark in Philly's ass
just
after the firing
of Torts. Yeah.
Torts.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you saw it, you heard it. Torts was quote unquote the cancer of the room. No one wanted to play with him.
I don't know how true that is.
Again, we don't know what's going on. But just to say, the whole all the rumors about Michkov and Torts and other players. Okay, we'll talk about Michkov. Just the moment.
Yeah,
he gets fired. He exploded that
this
game.
Kid's exploding. Well, it's so
mean?
funny.
So,
yeah.
It was just bad timing. I think we could have beat Philly. I think Philly just played two things. One, they got rid of the guy who they didn't want to play with anymore. I think they just lost trust in him. Didn't have his respect in the room. Every single player who was not shining in that team shined that game. And also, these are players that want to prove to their new coach who they are and what they can do and what
did you see the stats? Did you see the stats? 75% of teams that fire their coach, they win the next game with the new head coach.
Except the Habs
well, the Habs won with Ducharme.
The first game?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they did. I remember thinking, oh, I think so at least. And then I also remember when it was the one before when Claude Julien. Remember he had a bit of like the heart condition issue, and then I think it was Ducharme took over. They ended up winning that game. I think 2 in the bubble playoffs just before that COVID season. But anyways, no, some are like, how is this tough? We faced the Flyers. No, this was a fucking tough road trip. Sorry, no. Stop it. Stop. Doesn't matter who it is. You go to St. Louis, then you go to Philly and to Carolina back to back. This is a tough ass road trip. And then going to Florida, yeah, it's sunny Florida. It's still the Florida Panthers. This was a tough road trip. They needed more than 2 points, but man, this road trip towards the end of the season is a freaking tough one. I don't care what anybody says. You're not gonna convince me otherwise. But that Carolina game, it's so funny because I truly think that if you look at the St. Louis game, they got clobbered from both ends of the ice. Philly, yeah, they choked. The Carolina game, I thought they were starting to look a little bit better
in the first period.
Yeah, but then mental errors started taking place. And Arbor Jacka, unfortunately, was one of them. He wasn't the only one. Mike Matheson, too, did not have a good game that game. And there was that whole thing about putting Jakub Dobeš. Where does Jakub Dobeš go? Where does Monty go? Who plays where? Listen, both goalies did not have a good game against Philly and in Carolina. But I thought Carolina, that game, they were showing signs of fighting back a little bit, not totally, but a little bit. But just Carolina, I think Carolina just wore them down big time. And when Carolina's got the machines rolling, forget it. And Sebastian Aho, he found a whole other he found the second gear, and then he took charge of it. So, yeah,
you know what? Where I see the turnaround is where they got gassed out the most is the fight with Colorado. Coming back
God, yeah.
4-1.
Especially against that team. Yeah.
Exactly.
1,000%.
So I think
1,000%.
that point, first of all, was very important. A point that we shouldn't have gotten, and we got it. And I think that point will make the biggest difference going forward. But that being said, I think they got so gassed out after that game that Montreal is not able. Well, for now, since that game, they couldn't play by behind. The moment they lost the leads, you saw that we're trying to come back. Like I know with Philly, they almost came back, but it was too late. But I think they got so gassed out after that Colorado game that any game after that, the moment we lost that lead or they started the game with 2-3 goals, there was no coming back. And that's why today was so important. And then we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
Montreal scoring that first goal. Okay, yes, Florida came back fairly quickly, but they gained that lead again really fast. Well, and I think now until the end, we need to keeping that lead. I think going forward, I'm not going to say every single game is going to be that, but I think the advantage we will have going forward is a team with the lead. The moment you lose the lead,
you have to.
I think we're so gassed out.
But what was the other issue that they were having? How many shots a period were they taking?
But that's the thing. Also, you're not going to win scoring 2 shots on net. I think it was Carolina. We took 2 shots on net in the first period, the second period. No, 1 shot on net until the last 5 minutes of the second. Then we took 2 other shots. But also, I think the team needs to change their style a little bit because I think the other teams are starting to read us very easily now. The last 3 games, we were getting boxed in by St. Louis, Philly, and Carolina. All 3 games, we couldn't even enter the fucking zone. The offensive zone. Enter.
I totally agree, but I felt like the Flyers, excuse me, this game against Florida, against the Panthers, they had a much easier time to getting into the zone. And to the opposite of what was happening this time, the Canadiens, they were able to kind of neutralize the neutral zone. Like a couple of times they caused turnovers or they created turnovers and they were able to counterattack a little bit, but I think we could get into obviously today's game, final score 4-2 by the Montreal Canadiens against the Florida Panthers. You know what it was? It was probably, I don't know if it was the matinee games or like the game was at 1 p.m., right? So I don't know if playing at 1 p.m. in Florida does something with this team. And I don't know if it's like a second or third home ice arena because there's a lot of
chanting ole, ole, ole.
There's a lot of Quebecois. First off, there's a lot of Quebecers in Florida, and second, they're practically all Habs fans. Tickets aren't that expensive, so they're going to go take over that arena. And the Canadiens lately, they've been playing well in Florida. So I had this feeling that great. I just want to say big pizza pie. Sorry, last video at the Habs Cape. Great vid, guys. That place is amazing. It really is amazing. But going into this game, I don't know. I had a feeling. I'm like, I don't think it's going to end badly. You know, who knows? It's against Florida. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they're the reigning Stanley Cup champions, and they're strong as hell. They don't have Matthew Tkachuk, and they don't have Aaron Ekblad. Yeah, they got Brad Marchand back into the lineup, but you know, I mean, he's still a great player, but he's slowly coming to an end too, right? Just I don't know. I just felt like I had a feeling. I had a good feeling coming into this one. I wasn't as worried, and the key thing, well, the two key things that we were talking about, they took shots. They didn't get outshot badly in any of the periods by only taking two, three, maybe even 5 shots if they're lucky. No, they were shooting properly, and they took the lead. And even though they lost it twice, they were able to regain it again and again, which was super, super key. And look, we got to start with this. It's that power play. It's when Patrick Laine scores on that power play. If it's the first goal of the game, they tend to win those games, and that's what happened. We didn't only score one power play goal; we scored 2.
Well, we've said it's all year long. Our special teams is what was making us win, both power plays and penalty kills all season long. That was key, and was something that we've had issues for the last 4 or 5 seasons, or even more than that. But let's just talk about the last 4. We've always said if we could just be better at the special teams, it could turn things around and make a big difference with our
1,000%.
team. And this year we are where we are. Look, not that much experience, young team. Guys, it's right there. The special teams brought us where we are, big time. All those key goals that gave us that extra push to win the game or tie the game or bring us to overtime. It's all because of that. So, and if you look at the last 4 games that we lost, we were shit in the
I don't
special
know. I don't
teams.
know if they got any.
Nothing. No,
I don't know
nothing.
if they got any power play goals. I don't think so.
And even TSN was saying, was it, which game was it? Hold on. Was it, the Flyers? You're coming into a game that the worst the worst
Oh my god, worst power play unit and the worst penalty kill unit,
and yet we couldn't score.
No,
we couldn't and we couldn't stop them, and they were scoring on their power play. So, again, special teams is very important, and tonight's game, they came out strong. They took advantage of those key moments and gave us that win, and I think that's important.
It doesn't make sense how Patrick Laine's played only 42 games in the season. That's almost, he's only going to play a little bit more than half of the season if all goes according to plan. Like he's going to miss. If he stays healthy for the remaining 9, he'll have played 51 games. Like he's basically missed 31 games. Dude, he's tied for second in power play goals in the entire NHL. Like, I don't think we realize how much it says that, fuck, this guy did so much for this. At least, okay, when I say so much, he did practically everything he had to do on the power play, which was the big reason why he was acquired. He wasn't acquired for his defensive game. He was acquired for his power play specialty, which is using that shot that he has. And listen, ever since he came back in December, that's when the fight for this wild card spot began. Like I get so frustrated at, and I understand how a lot of fans get frustrated with the style of play that Patrick Laine brings. He looks lazy out there. I get it. I really do. But don't underestimate the importance of what this guy has been doing for this team on the power play.
We spoke about this, Sam. Like, yes, a lot of people see Laine as the big name, that key player that he was in the past with his other teams, and that superstar player who's good at the power play, good on the 5-on-5, good on the defensive skill, that all-around player. Look, he's not that guy anymore. Maybe, not saying anymore, this season he wasn't it, maybe because of the injury or whatever case may be, the issues he's been going on mentally. We don't know that story yet, if it's ever going to come out. But he's not 100%.
I don't think he's 100%. Look what he's doing.
He's not 100%, and he's still a key player in this team. So anyone out there who shits on him and saying, "Why did we sign him? He's not." No,
Why did
guys.
we trade for it? We traded for him.
Yeah, sorry. Well, whatever.
Why did we get him?
Why do we get him? Sam, you said it yourself. Since December, the wild card chase started. Since December, our fucking power plays have been one of the best ever in the last 5 years. I don't mind paying this guy X amount of money. I don't give a shit. He can score zero power play, 5-on-5 goals for the rest of his career in the Montreal Canadiens. But if he's scoring our power play freaking goals every
Mhm.
single game, day in, day out, and helping our special teams, guys, that's what we need
Yeah.
him for. He's getting older. We have a lot of young superstars coming into the lineup going in the near future. We have superstars. Liney is just that bonus that's going to help us when we need that extra point. Especially, guys, imagine playoffs. Okay. If we make the playoffs, we've all seen it. Every NHL fan out there have seen how important special teams is
Mhm.
in a playoff game. You could be the best 5-on-5 team in the fucking league. But if you're not scoring those key power plays in overtime or the last 3 minutes of third period in a playoff game, let me tell you how important a goal in the
Leafs.
power play.
Leafs. Leafs.
It, exactly,
So
exactly my point.
I love what Bish Boy Steve wrote in the chat here. Slav is so close to unlocking the beast. It's insane to see because he's going to be special. Okay, so before we get to talk about the two players that carried this team today in Florida, I need to talk about Juraj Slavkovsky because we put out a tweet earlier today after noticing, and it's not just this game against Florida, it's been quite a few other games, even on this road trip. I've been noticing this. I don't know if you guys have. Slav, his forechecking and his stick checking have really improved, and his puck protecting skills with his body are getting better. He's looking stronger when he's along the boards protecting the puck. He looks stronger in front of the goaltender. He's not getting pushed around, moved around. Like, we put out a tweet saying that this is a sign that physical maturity is starting to take a hold of his body. Physical maturity is starting to arrive in the case of Juraj Slavkovsky, and I love that. Like, if he keeps doing that, he's going to be special. Yeah, he's a beast now, but we've only seen what, maybe the tip of the iceberg. Happy birthday to Slav, by the way, getting a goal on his birthday. I don't care how he scored it. I don't care if he banks off a guy's stick, a guy's head, or a guy's butt. I don't care. Matt Sundin scored a shit ton of goals in his career by banking the puck off of players. You're Slavkovsky, you do that. Whatever you do to put the puck on the net and to fucking go cross that goal line, you do it. I'm so happy he got a goal. I'm so happy he got an assist on the game winner by Nick Suzuki, and we're gonna have to talk about that play because that play was just absolutely insane. But no, Juraj Slavkovsky today, that listen, the obvious heroes of this game were Lane Hudson and Nick Suzuki getting 3 points each. But Juraj Slavkovsky, he was a lot more noticeable than usual, and that's how he has to play. He's got to keep playing that way. If he does that all year long, if he does it for 82 games, oh my god, just imagine the amount of points that maybe Suzuki gets, the amount of goals that maybe Cole gets. He's getting there, man. I was so happy about Slav's performance
We've all called it,
today.
Sam. The moment he shows his physical side and matures that side of his play, he's gonna be a fucking scary beast.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we've seen signs of it last year in the second half of the season, and we're seeing it this year in the second half of the season. The only thing he's lacking is consistency. And if you put that guy, we said this many times, it's a repeat. So to all our, OG fans listening to our episodes, you heard this many times.
Oof.
A
Yeah.
consistent Slavkovsky playing physical is a beast. put
Yeah,
that guy 82 games in, he's unstoppable.
yeah.
And
I
I just
was,
love
yeah,
what
yeah.
we're seeing. And he's still young, guys. He's still not there
He's
yet.
20. Well, he's 21 years old. Happy birthday, Slav. Mancini sent us a question here. Just tuned in. Does Arbor play next game? Oh man, I want to see Arbor play. I really do. Who do you take out? I mean, you can't take out Jaden Struble because he's playing very well. Everyone's like, take David Savard out. He's looking tired. He's looking done. All this, all that. But it's like, well, you can't take out your best penalty killer. You
No.
just can't. You can't take out Mike Matheson. I don't care what anybody says. You need him. And Caden Gooley coming back, kind of look what Caden Gooley in the lineup does for a guy like Mike Matheson. Mike Matheson was the first game I barely noticed him on the offensive side and defensive side. That's a good thing. And I checked earlier with Caden Gooley back, Mike Matheson, his minutes dropped from 28, almost 30 minutes. It dropped to 22. It's a big difference. Mike Matheson cannot play. Every time he plays over 25, 26 minutes, he's obviously going to get tired, and that's when the mistakes happen. So Caden Gooley coming back kind of balances that out. So I want Arbor Jacki to play next game, especially after what's the name of the Florida player? Oh my, I forgot his name. He shot the puck with the 0 seconds left, and he almost hit David Savard, and they all went after him. So everyone's like, put Arbor back in so he can, so he has to make him answer the bell.
Mikola.
Yeah, Mikola. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mikola. Anyways, I want Arbor to play. Thinking that we're going to be playing, seeing that we're going to be playing Florida. We beat them in their home turf. We're playing them again on Tuesday
in our turf.
Do you change anything? I don't know. Like, a couple of people were suggesting just put Arbor as the forward. Put him on the fourth line. Play him as a forward. I don't know. I know Chicago did that with Dustin Byfuglien, but Dustin Byfuglien was a whole other beast just to think about it. But I don't know, because if Michael Pezzetta is going to come in, they're not playing Joshua Roy. Who do they put instead? I really don't know, man. That's a tough question. And again, of course I want to see Arbor Jacki play. I just don't know if Marty is gonna make him play. I'm not too sure. Not after a win like today. I don't think he's gonna touch his lineup. That's my personal opinion. I hope I'm wrong.
I think the next game stays. I think, especially with the 5-game losing streak, and now we kind of snapped out of it after today's game. And guys, speaking of the wild card race,
oh my god,
it sucks to see it this way, because those last 5 games could have helped us a lot even if we would have won 2, and get those 2 extra points overtime. But just to say, we're so lucky that Columbus and Islanders and Rangers have been losing. Okay, Rangers won yesterday, but
Rangers,
whatever.
Yeah, they beat the Sharks. Of course,
today,
they're gonna win.
Rangers lost the game before. They're helping us a lot. And this is why we still have our spot. It's gonna be close until the last game of the season.
So and a couple of times, and everybody that's listening, you'll most likely disagree with me on this one, and that's okay. So when I say they're not a playoff team yet, it's the reason why I say that. It's because if the Islanders were winning, if the Rangers were winning, if Columbus was winning games, they're important games, we wouldn't be in this spot. We're only there, let's be honest, one of the big reasons why we're there is because other teams are losing. So for me, if you want to be a true playoff team, it's you win these important games without having to worry about what these other teams are doing and how they're going to win. Yes, they're going to say we don't care about what their thing is, but for sure they're looking. My point in all of this is that right now we're relying on other teams to lose for us to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but is Rangers Islanders a playoff team?
I don't think
they're depending on us.
I don't think Columbus is yet. When I say the Canadiens, dude, the Islanders, I don't know what the hell it is.
Everybody this year,
they're surprising.
They're not supposed to be where they are.
The Brock Nelson is traded and Matthew Barzal is injured. Yet they're still, because they have a bunch of veterans that are good players, and they have Patrick Waugh, the goalie. A bit of a goaltending issue. Sorokin is still pretty good. Columbus is a young team, a bit like the Canadiens, but they have a little bit more like they have Zach Werenski, who's one of the best defensemen. And I know we have Lane Hudson, but Zach Werenski's still a veteran. He's one of the best. Don't be surprised if he wins the Norris. He's going to be a Norris candidate. I don't know if he's going to win the Norris Trophy. You know what I mean? But dude, on paper, the Rangers are supposed to be a playoff team. And they're just shitting the bed. They're choking because I think it's just bad vibes throughout that whole locker room, starting with management. So when I say that we aren't a playoff team, is because I don't want to rely on other teams losing in order for us to make it. I want our team to be good enough to win these games and not have to worry about what for these other teams to lose. That's, for me, that's a true playoff team. We're not there yet. We will get there. I think we can get there next year, hopefully. But I like what Big Pizza Pie just wrote. He goes, I 100% agree. But if we get to make it, it'll be a huge learning experience for the young guys. Dude, 1,010%. 1,000%. But here's the thing. The young guys, they're learning how to fight for these important games now anyways. This is going to be just as an important as experience as to making the playoffs. Of course, making playoffs is a whole other level. Of course, we want to experience playoffs in this city. And of course, we want these kids to experience a full Bell Center during the playoffs. There's no other place like it. 1,000%. But I just want this team to be consistently good enough to win games. And you know what? Like kind of like Ottawa right now. Look at Ottawa. They're a year or two ahead of us in their rebuild. They're in a comfortable spot within the first wild cards spot that they have. Excuse me. Like, I want the Canadiens to be that and maybe even better. If the Canadiens I truly believe one day the Canadiens will be top 3 in our division. Maybe Ottawa's going to be there too, along with Florida or Tampa or Toronto. Anyways, all that to say is I just want the Canadiens to be good enough that they don't have to worry about other teams losing. That for me is a playoff team.
And Sam, and I couldn't disagree more. I mean, you're right. We all want that for our Habs. We don't want this stress until the end because it just continues into the playoffs, having the stress there.
But the viewers are tuning in everywhere.
Yes,
and this is kind of what the NHL wants a little bit, which is a good thing. You want viewers.
Exactly. But what I'm trying to say is, yes, we all want that type of team to just be sitting with 95 points right now and just, cruising the rest of the season until the playoff starts, where you're resting your key players. The only thing that's what I'm trying to say, and Big Pizza said it himself, is we're still growing. We're not supposed to be where we are this year with this team. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We all said it, that this is the year where we're short from being a wild card team, and we're there. But imagine next year we're supposed to be that playoff team. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We all projected that next year is the year where we're fighting. We had that comfort spot in the wild card spot next year. Okay. And next year was that playoff year for the Montreal Canadiens. This year was are we in the mix? Are we not? We'll see what happens as the year goes on. Yeah. But imagine, like Big Pizza says, if this team does make the playoffs this year, okay, I couldn't care less if we lose 4 in a row. Yeah, giving these young kids the experience, feeling how, and already you said it before, they're feeling it now with all the stress and the fighting just to get that spot. But the playoffs is a whole different fucking animal. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a whole different animal. So imagine now this team, these players in our team have the experience of fighting for a spot. If they make the playoffs, you're giving these young kids that playoff experience. Now come next year, if we are that secured wildcard team, we're just...
They'll know how to handle it even more.
We're just a step ahead of everybody now because you're giving these guys the experience now before the year that it actually counts for us. So I'm just hoping, selfish reasons aside of Habs fan wanting to see the playoffs in 2021 and everything,
So do we. So we all do. We all do.
As a Habs fan wanting to see this team grow in the future, I think making the playoffs this year will be a big bonus for our growth going forward.
Well, 1,000%. And let's throw in just a little point here, not to open that can of worms, but like Kent Hughes not making any moves to help this team make the playoffs and instilling trust in the roster he has to make playoffs, that goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
That goes a very, very long way. And that shows that the players could trust management with whatever decisions they make moving forward to help this team become better. And
they have
really,
a plan in place.
there's a plan and it's sticking. Thank you so much. I need to talk about Nick Suzuki and Lane Hutson's shoulders the size of the fucking globe today, because the way Nick Suzuki and Lane Hutson carried this team against the Florida Panthers, it's not an easy team. Against the Florida Panthers, Nick Suzuki, Lane Hutson, 3 points. Suzuki, 1 goal, 2 assists. Lane Hutson, 3 assists. 2 points. What Suzuki, 2 assists on the power play, plus a goal. That Nick Suzuki goal, that feed that Lane Hutson gave him, found him, how he found him, was absolutely bananas. Bananas. Like, we talked about Michkov exploding after Tortorella got fired. And I think Hudson was like, yeah, if you think you're going to win the fucking Calder Trophy, think again, bud. And it just came out, exploded with 3 massive points. This kid keeps breaking records. Like he's up there. I saw lists. He's up there with Larry Murphy, Chris Chelios, Nick Lidstrom, Cale Makar, and he's 5'10". He's an undersized defenseman. He's 21 years old. He's a rookie, and he's doing all this, and he's putting his name up with all these greats that I enjoyed watching as a kid, especially Nick Lidstrom.
I'm not sure if this is updated. I'm not sure if the NHL website is updated, but he's at 59 points now. Is that before?
Yes, he is. Game? No, he's at 59 points with this game. Dude, 59 points, and they're all assists. We called it. I'm so happy we did. But dude, if he gets more than 60 points, like, my God, I can't, like, I want to say it's believable, but still, you're like, how could an undersized defenseman in this rookie season, like, to all of those that said, no, he's going to get demolished, all the things he did in college, won't be able to transition in the NHL. It's like, there. And I love this right here. I love this right here. Nick Suzuki isn't a number 1 center. Eh? Oh my God. Like, Nick Suzuki this year really took his captaincy to a whole other level. Nick Suzuki right now tied his personal best with 77 points today. He's 1 point away from having a career year of 78, and he's 5 points away from being a point per game player. The first time since Alex Kovalev in 2007-2008 season. He had 84 that year. Okay, so he's at 77. He's 7 points away. There's 9 games remaining. Fuck, he could do it. I think he could do it. If he pulls that off, I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to be so freaking happy. Here you go. This is for Lane Hutson. He's close to being Lidstrom's assist record. Like, Nick Lidstrom, Hall of Famer, 3-time Stanley Cup champion. I think he's a gold medalist for Sweden. I think. I'm not 100% certain. But anyways, he's got medals off the yin yang too with Sweden. This is like, we want to talk about experience. That, like, if Lane Hutson experiences Montreal playoffs at the Bell Center, that's what this. I would love for this kid to experience that 1,000%. But I just loved how, man, he found another switch. He found another switch, and you hear stories how during the days that practices are canceled, they're practically forbidding him to go to the arena and practice. Like, this kid wants to be on the ice every day, all day, every day. He wants to practice. He wants to get better. Like, the work ethic on this kid is insane, and he only has how many games are we now? Well, there's 72, 73. He only has 74 NHL games as experience. This is insane. What's going to happen when he turns 24, 25, 26? Prime age. We talk about Ura Slavkovsky being a beast at that age. What about Lane Hudson? I get he's not going to be the biggest player on the team, but my God, when he's in the peak shape of his life and his career, you know what I mean? This is it's it just I might be going overboard here, but it just encourages me to see the players that this management picked. You know, we're going to get to the Laval Rockets towards the end of this episode, but you look at Lane Hudson, the way he's playing. I see how Ryan Backers played a little bit in Laval. Like, you see how Caden Gooley is almost ready to take that next step in terms of the leadership amongst the defensemen. We still have Arbor Jackeye. We'll see what's going to happen with Jaden Struble. But, like, everything is getting there, especially on the back end. Like, it's so encouraging. It's so encouraging. I know I'm getting way ahead of myself, but it's so encouraging. It's exciting times right now because we got the wild card spot. The Islanders lost. Thank God. I thought Carolina was going to blow that game. I really, really did, because what was it? They had a 2-0 lead. The Islanders came back, made it 2-0. Then the Islanders made it 3-2. So, oh man, just what a Sunday. I made homemade spaghetti sauce, homemade meatballs. Yeah, I think you're muted. You're muted, Anthony. I can't hear you. Your mic's off.
You hear me now?
Yeah, you're good to go. There you go.
Speaking of Suzuki and our future and everything, I'm a bit, again, not diminishing him, but Caulfield kind of let go of the gas a little bit. Not sure why, what's going on. I thought he was going to hit the 40 goals. Still has a chance to do it, but
I think he's I think I've noticed him a little bit more on his defensive side. I think I really, really, really think Caulfield's focusing more on his two-way game. He's still getting assists here and there. Mind you, he scored did he score against Philly? Which game did he score against that he shot? It was Philly, yeah. So I mean, he got that goal. It's okay. Like, he's in the 30s, but like, yeah, I want to see a little bit more from Caulfield. I was hoping he was going to get a goal today against Florida. But yeah, no, I want to see him a little bit more, hopefully at home. And again, the Canadiens, they're going back home. There's 9 games remaining. 6 out of those 9 games are at home. This might be, I have to check the stats here, but I know the Canadian stats at home is pretty good. It's better than this might be the saving grace. And look, okay, yes, they're facing Florida on Tuesday, but they could beat Florida at home. Boston is not the same Boston Bruins anymore. I don't think they're gonna remember how Philly beat them. Then there's Detroit. That's gonna be a crazy matchup. The only away games are Nashville. Nashville, not the greatest team, but they're a bit on a hot streak right now. Ottawa, Friday the 11th in Ottawa, and then back-to-back and Saturday against Toronto. Those are gonna be important games. Then your final 2 home games against Chicago. It's like, come on, you're supposed to have that. And then Carolina. They play good at home against Carolina. So, okay, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think they could beat Boston. I think they could beat Philly. That's 2. They could definitely beat Chicago. That's 3.
And there's Florida Tuesday. I think we can win as well. That's 4.
I think we can, but like, out of these 6 home games, they could get 8 points. They could get a good 8 out of 12. I truly believe they can. They have to. They have to. They have to. They have no choice. If they could get that, because they play next Saturday at home against Philly, and then they fly to Nashville against Nashville. That's gonna be tough.
I just want them to have that cushion at the end, because getting close to the end of the season, when you have those teams like Carolina at the end, it could make or break your season, right? I'm really hoping it doesn't get to that last game, even though I've been saying all year.
Oh my God, if it gets to that last game, dude. Oh my God, and like.
But if we can have that cushion, meaning win the next 3 games, right? Because we still have a game in hand in Rangers. Islanders losing today helps a lot, because now they're 3 points behind us.
Yeah.
Columbus losing yesterday, I believe.
Columbus. Yeah, Columbus. They have. I saw their next like 2-3 opponents is very tough. Like, Hold on a sec. They don't play Monday. They don't play tomorrow. They play. Oh, frick! They play Nashville. Damn it! They play Nashville on Tuesday, but then they play. I remember seeing they play a tougher team. Then they play Colorado on Thursday. So I mean, look, anything's possible, but
I want Ottawa to start losing, which they lost tonight, which I'm happy. I
I
want to
don't
be
think
able
we're.
to
I
make
don't
sure
think we're. I don't think we're gonna catch up to them. I'm not
we're
sure,
not
man.
far
I'm not
off.
sure.
We're not far off, and I'd rather have those two spots available than just that one spot, right? Like, I want to get to a
Yeah, of
point where there's
course.
that comfort of two. Look, we're at 77 points. Okay, Ottawa at 84. Okay, that's 7 points behind, and we're playing Ottawa next week. If they can start
Yeah,
losing and we're winning, and we get to that
yeah,
point where
yeah. But
anything can happen.
their schedule, and like the only three tough teams they play against. They have 9 games left, and they only have three tough opponents: Carolina, Florida, and Tampa. Then they
But you
play
know what?
Chicago. They play Chicago, Philly, Buffalo,
But
Columbus twice, and then us.
Sam, what I like about the
So,
NHL, the one good thing I like about the NHL is coming towards the last stretch of the season,
hmm
every opponent is tough. You know why? Because there's
yeah,
some teams that are playing for nothing. They're playing for pride.
yeah,
Okay.
contracts,
Uh,
and
Contracts.
they want to spoil the fun for sure.
They want to spoil the fun. You saw that last year. Detroit needed those wins against teams that were last place, and they
Yeah,
didn't allow them to win it. So
and I swear to God, if our season gets determined the way Detroit's season got determined the end of last year when we played them twice, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I swear to God, I'm gonna lose my shit. And if
I
we,
predicted that in the first
I
game,
know, but
first episode.
the city cannot have the Canadians win the last game at home, the last game of the season, only to find out they don't make the playoffs just because some other team won. We can't have it. We can't have it. We're gonna go
That's why the
bananas.
next three games are very crucial, and we need to build that cushion this week.
Look,
This week, Florida, Boston, and Philly. Okay,
yeah,
in Toronto. Hold on, wait.
yeah, we have Toronto as well. We're playing Toronto one more time. Look,
Okay,
I'm looking. I'm on this web. I'm on the website tankathon.com, and they have the remaining schedule strength going on. Strength of schedule, whatever's remaining. Take it for what it is. It's all theoretical. It doesn't mean anything. But Detroit has the toughest one. Out of all they have 9 games left. Their easiest opponents are the Canadians and the New Jersey Devils. Although I don't know why New Jersey would be considered easier. I don't get it because they're a tough team. They play Dallas, Carolina, Toronto, Florida Panthers twice, uh, Tampa Bay, and even St. Louis. But also the Rangers with 8 games remaining. They have a bit of a tougher schedule. The Islanders as well, Columbus as well. Like those 4 teams, again, this is just a theory. This is just in theory or on paper. They have a tougher schedule than the Montreal Canadiens, and
but look,
they're actually in the top 10 toughest schedules coming up. So we'll
look,
take it
we're
for
at
what it is.
home. We're at home the next three games. We have our fans. They're gonna be there because we were at a long stretch of away
Yeah,
of road trip. Right. We
yeah.
lost all five. Okay. Well, three
No, we lost
and
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. Yeah. Um, we're playing Florida again, which I think is going to be a really tough match because of
Oh my
how it
God.
ended. I
Yeah,
think there's going to be a lot of,
yeah,
again, penalties where key
yeah.
special teams have to wake
They
up.
got it. They got to stay composed, man. That game. I agree. I agree.
You have Boston, who's just basically tanking their season. So that's a given win if we can just take it. And I think Philly's game is going to be a payback game. It's like, hey, you
Yeah,
beat
I
us
hope
last
so.
time
Oh my God, I
because
hope
of your
so.
fucking firing of torts. No, we're gonna beat you this
I
time, and
hope
I think we
so.
can
Oh
do
my
it.
God, I hope so. I
You
hope
win
so.
those three, get that little bit of that comfort cushion. Maybe lose Nashville, I don't know, but just the next three games to me are the make it or
If
break it
they,
for our wild
if
card
they,
spot.
well, every game now is the most
I know
important game of
we
the
keep
season.
saying
But
that, but I
I
think
agree. If they could win these 3 games at home and get that 4 game winning streak going, I totally agree. This is going to be nuts. This week is going to be nuts. It's going to be insane, and I can't wait for it. But we're slowly going to wrap things up. But like, listen, how about we got to talk about the Laval Rocket here? Best team in the minors, clinch a playoff spot. We talk about experience.
You're
Yeah.
getting a lot of experience from these players.
Okay. So who's getting? Let's name him. Like Joshua Roy is going to be there. Owen
Mayu.
Beck is going to be there. Logan Mayu is going to be there. David Reinbacher is going to be there. Okay. Say what you want about Philip Machar. He's still a first-round pick. He's going to be there. That's 5. Florian Jackeye. That's 6. You think he's not going to be stoked to play in the playoffs? You know, he's a Jackeye. Of course, he's going to want to. He can't wait for that. Luke Tuck is coming back. Okay. That Jakob Dobesh is going to go. He's going to go back to Laval at the end of this season, depending what happens if we make it or not. But he's qualified to go back, and so is Joshua Roy. This is massive. It's massive for this group. And a lot, dude, one of the kids you like, Jared Davidson, he's going to, like, this kid's tearing it up too, man. He's playing great hockey. It's a lot of half of that team are Kent Hughes draft picks.
And a lot of that team are players that you're going to see potentially next year.
The only one that's not is Slavkovsky. He's the only one that's not on the team. And I'm looking at Jacob Fowler's team right now, less than 5 minutes, and he's losing 2-1. Denver is beating Boston College 2-1 in the NCAA Frozen Four tournament. If Jacob Fowler loses tonight, my God, tomorrow I think Habs fans are going to be waiting to see if the Canadiens sign him. And I hope he doesn't lose. I say this live on YouTube and Twitter. I hope they get to win this game. I hope they come back. But my goodness, if Boston College loses and that's the end of Jacob Fowler's NCAA season, oh my God, are they going to sign him? If they do, are they bringing him to the Canadiens? We're going to have a 3-goalie tandem again? Oh my God. No. Can't have it.
You're saying that if Fowler loses, he might get signed by the Canadiens and could play in the NHL this year?
Well, I mean, if they do like Lane Hudson, they burn the. I with the goalie, I don't know how it should work. A contract, a player contract, a player contract.
I don't think is that bad to.
No, it has nothing. It has,
I think
the thing is, if they sign, I think the rule is if they sign the Fowler, I think he's got to be in the NHL. I don't think he could go to the minors right away. I don't think so. And I'm trying to remember Sean Farrell, when they signed him, he played 6 games with the Canadiens and they burned the year off the contract, but he never went down. He only went down the season after because he was eligible to go. But I think when you sign an NCAA player, they cannot go to the minors right away, and probably because they weren't qualified after the trade deadline. I think it has to do with that bullshit rule or whatever. I know I'm screwing up and making mistakes somewhere, but
we'll find out tomorrow morning or the next 5 minutes.
There's 3 minutes, like it's play has stopped. There's 3 minutes at 50 seconds right now, and I have it right here, man. And on Denver's team, there's a Canadiens draft pick, Sam Harrison, there, who was part of the pick of the I think he was part of the Reinbacher draft. So I think so. I got to double check that. I should know this, but anyways, no, dude, this is exciting. Like, this is so good for the future of this team. Yeah. There's so many key players that, like, this is what we want. We got to go to the games, and I hope we see followers and viewers at the games there too, because Laval playoffs is going to be exciting. The last time they made it, it was a 6-6-6-6.
Are the tickets on sale?
They're not on sale yet. And hey, listen, I'm sorry, Caden Primo deserves all the praise in the world, man. He's one of the best goalies in the minors, and we knew this was going to happen. We knew he was going to be amazing in the minors. For some reason, the poor guy, he just can't crack the lineup in the. But he will. But I think he will one day. And
with another team.
Yeah, that's a whole other debate. But I might agree with you on that one. I like what this big pizza pie wrote. All we need is a second line, Demidov and Liney. But who will play center? Oh, the $1 million question. Demidov is playing in the KHL playoffs. I don't know what the hell that bullshit drama was about. Oh, he's getting benched because he can't withstand the physicality. It's like, he's been their best fucking player. They're down 2-0 in the playoffs, and he's been their best player, and he scored a goal. He's the only one that scored. Like, give me a break, man, dude. The guys, Demidov next year, if we could see what Lane Hudson is doing as a defenseman, what is Demidov going to do as a forward? I don't want to put all that pressure on the kid, but I'm going to keep repeating this. Like, oh my God, May 31st, folks, mark it on your calendar. That's when his contract ends in Russia. May 31st, the Montreal Canadiens sign Ivan Demidov to a 3-year entry-level contract. Boom. Can't wait. I can't wait.
One more thing I didn't bring up before earlier, and then we can wrap this up.
Yep.
We spoke about Liney, just being that power play specialist, and he's not 100%, all that stuff.
Yep.
But I don't know if you noticed today's game, there was some moments that he's kind of breaking into his regular, breaking that shot.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy you say that.
There was one player that he came out flying, fucking.
Oh yeah. Yes. Well, even on a couple, nobody was talking about this, but he did a stick check that there was an open net to a Florida player, and if he didn't stick check, that puck was not that I don't think the puck was going to go in, but there was a scoring chance for Florida. Like his defensive game today wasn't that bad. I thought today
he was 5-on-5 as well. There was some signs of like
he was engaged
coming out. He was engaged.
He was engaged in all aspects of the play, both ends of the ice. Totally agree. But it's got to be consistent. It's got to be consistent. And again, is it because his conditioning, lingering injury, he's maybe not 100% healthy yet? Like who knows? But next year, the big question is, what are we going to do with Liney at the end of that contract? What's going to happen with the second line centerman? Are we giving Doc one last try? Are we putting him on the wing? Are we like what are we doing with like the big questions of what to do? There's two players is Kirby Doc and Patrick Liney next year because it's their last years. At least as far as top 6 is concerned. I still think Alex Newhook is a third line player, could be a third line centerman. I love his effort. I like he's doing.
Can't buy a goal. Fuck.
You just can't buy a goal with that $1 million of contract that he has, but it's okay. I love his effort though, and I love his like the guy works. But no, we'll see. It's that second line. If the Canadiens had a second line, Anthony, that was performing just almost as good as the top line, we would be a playoff team. We would be in a comfortable spot in any of those 2 wildcard spots. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. We'll see next year, buddy.
One game at a time now.
One game at a time. Next game, the Montreal Canadiens. It's hopefully Tuesday night. Hopefully not revenge night for the Florida Panthers. We need to beat them. We absolutely need to beat them. But
it's also a big night because I think everybody's playing that night because tomorrow there's only the West, I believe.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's more of a Western Conference.
But I checked. I checked. I don't think the Rangers play.
Ottawa
plays the Sabres.
That spot is
the Islanders play. The Islanders play Tampa Bay on Tuesday. Blue Jackets play the Predators. Red Wings play the Blues. And that's it. That's at least for the other games that we're going to be paying close attention to. So, yeah, Tuesday night, Bell Center against the Florida Panthers. I think I said all I had to say. 1:42 remaining. Timeout, Boston College. Oh, my God. Is the best team in college going to get eliminated by Denver? Oh, my goodness. That is insane. But anyways, we're going to wrap this up. Yep. Okay. Good job.
Let's do it.
Sounds good. So a big thank you once again to our sponsors, Les Délices Lafrenette. Like we said, the best pastries that you can find, and to Habs Cave. To both of you guys, thank you so much. To our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in and sending in your thoughts and questions. Speaking of questions, like I promised our viewers on Instagram, we will get to your questions. Just let me load this up real quick. Here we go. Okay, so Mandy Bandy, what's your thoughts on scratching one player for mistakes and not holding other players to the same? Well, if you're talking about Arbor Jacki, it's like, yeah, unfortunately, yes, he's making mistakes, but you can't scratch Mike Matheson. You can't scratch David Savard for making mistakes. You can't scratch Alexandre Carrier for making mistakes either. Jaden Struble deserves a spot. Caden Gooley, well, he's back from injury. You're not scratching him. and Lane Hudson is Lane Hudson. So I get it. We all love Arbor Jacki, but you can't make mistakes like that. That costs you a goal and costs you the game. So, but I get it. Malik Joe, scale of 1 to 10. How confident are you that Hudson will win the Calder? He keeps
9.
this up. 9. Yep. I'm on 9. If he keeps this up, he's gonna win.
But even if he doesn't hold the most points, guys, he's a defenseman. He's putting up points more than Celebrini and Michkov, who are offensive talents. This guy's a defenseman. 59 points as a defenseman.
He's a second round pick that's beating out a first overall pick and a seventh overall pick. Yeah.
And again, let me say this again. He's a defenseman. Celebrini and Michkov, great players. They're offensive players. They're there to put up points. They're going to score goals. They're going to get assists. Hudson is a defenseman. There's Hall of Famer defensemen out there that barely get 20 points a fucking season. Okay? So, guys, Hudson, 59 points as a defenseman.
He's gonna reach. Yeah, he's definitely gonna reach over 60. Silver _ Black 9. Keep it up, boys. Hope to see you guys April 14 against Chicago. Oh, thank you very much. Hope to see you there too. Maybe if not, we'll watch you on TV. Chris 961. Newhook was the best player during this road trip. Newhook was flying this road trip. Absolutely.
If only he could bury those goals.
He just can't buy a goal, unfortunately. But we still love the guy. Awesome, Ant. Thank you so much and thank you to our viewers once again for tuning in live on YouTube and Twitter, also known as X.
Oh, wait, whoa.
What are we doing? We're doing the Italian goodbye, saying goodbye. Oh no, wait, hold on. Say goodbye.
Yeah.
One more thing. Oh, wait, hold on. Say goodbye. One more thing. Let's go.
We're about to witness history in the NHL. Ovechkin is 5 goals away.
Oh yeah,
Gretzky's record.
But I want to talk about it up. But I want to talk about when he breaks the record.
He does it.
No, I need when he ties it. I'm gonna make a statement that's gonna freak everybody the f out, and you'll have to wait for it to happen in order to hear what I'm about to say, or what I will say. Away. Okay, now we're really saying goodbye. Once again, thank you to Habs Cave and Les Délices Lafrenière. Thank you to our viewers. We're seriously going right now. We're getting tired of saying goodbye. This Italians say goodbye this way. We say goodbye 1,000 times before actually leaving. So thank you to our audiences on YouTube and Twitter. We're episodes available on our audio platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Follow the Curfew Boys on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. Please like and subscribe. It's absolutely free. Anthony, have a good night. 30 seconds remaining. 28.6 extra room to see if Jacob Fowler becomes a Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game Tuesday. Everybody enjoy the game Tuesday. Go Habs, go. We need this win. Until then,
bye now.
Good night.
Good night.